ballistics, one of the major branch of forensic science. The term ballistics was coined by Colonel Goddard, a pioneer in this study. The meaning of the term ballistics is the systematic study of firearms and ammunition used in the commission of crimes for the purpose of investigation. Therefore, it is necessary for the investigation officer to understand the characteristics of firearm and the use of firearm in heinous crimes such as murders, dacoities, assassinations, mob violence, and police encounters and firings. In such cases, the firearm evidence is crucial. Today, it is well established. That means the firearm evidence now well established. That means the individuality of the marks imprinted by a gun on fired cartridge or a bullet is universally recognized. That means no two firearms, even of the same make and batch, leave identical marks on the fired ammunition is universally recognized one. The theory is universally recognized. So the firearm evidence is now well established. Now we are going to understand different types of firearms. Rifles. Rifles have long barrel. Rifles have long barrel and can fire high-powered ammunition. Rifles are characterized by their calibers. The caliber is the actual measure of bore diameter of barrel between two opposite lines. Rifles are of different actions. Most common are bolt action and semi-automatic action. Next one is pistol. Pistol comes under the category of short barreled arms. It can be fired by one hand. Pistols are automatic, semi-automatic, or self-loader type, in which with the pull of trigger a cartridge is fired. The next one is shotguns. Shotguns comes under the category of shoulder arms. A shotgun may be single or double barreled. The barrels may be joined side by side or one over the other. Shotguns are smooth bore firearms. That is, the cross section of the barrel at any point makes a perfect circle. It fires a single ball, slug, or a charge consisting of considerable number of lead pellets. The shotgun barrels have varied bore diameters and are designated by a number. The double-barreled guns are two types. They are hammer or hammerless. The next one is revolvers. Revolvers. A firearm has a barrel. Revolvers are effective only at short ranges. The cartridges are housed in a revolving cylinder. Therefore, it is called as revolver. Revolvers are available both double action and single action. It also comes under the type of handgun. It contains revolving cylinder having chambers of loading the cartridge. The number of chambers may varies from 4 to 7. These are the type of firearms we have commonly seen in films and social medias. So before going to the parts of firearms, let's understand the classification theory. On the basis of handling method, we have classified small arms as handguns and shoulder arms. On the basis of bore characteristics, we have differentiated as smooth bore and rifled bore. Further, on the basis of loading characteristics, we are classifying the firearms like muzzle loading and breech loading. Finally, we also classify the guns on the basis of action character, firing character, and usage as follows: self-loaders and automatics, then single shot and repeaters, sporting firearms and service firearms. So now we are moving to parts of firearms. Parts of firearms. The first one is firing pin. Firing pin, it is the part of firearm which on pressing the trigger moves forward and strikes the cartridge. It is located in the breech block in shotguns, in the bolt heads of rifles, and of the moving breech block in automatic and semi-automatic firearms. Then breech face. Breech face, the area surrounding the firing pin hole, is the breech face. It seals the barrel from the chamber side and holds the cartridge case when the latter is pushed back due to expanding of gases on firing. Another is barrel. The barrels of all firearms imprint marks on the fired projectiles which fit tightly in the barrels. In rifle firearms, the marks are from the imperfection of the lands and the grooves of the barrels. Next one is choke. When the diameter of the barrel of a shotgun is same throughout the barrel, it is called true cylinder. The bore of a shotgun is sometimes constricted near to the muzzle end. That is, the diameter near the muzzle end is slightly smaller than the choke is full, half, quarter, or improved cylinder. If the diameter at the muzzle end is reduced by one half, one quarter, and about 1/10 of millimeter respectively. Another one is chamber. The chamber surface of a firearm also has a microscopic imperfections. The irregularities on the surface of the chamber is larger than the diameter of the cartridge. The cartridge therefore does not come in very close contact with the surface of the chamber. Another is lead. Lead, when a bullet is pushed out from the cartridge to barrel and therefore before it sets onto the grooves, it slips over the lead and gets imprinted with the slippage marks. Extractor and ejector. These parts of a firearm are of various designs and forms. They come in contact with cartridge case fired through the firearm and imprint their surface irregularities on the same marks are often insufficient for identification purposes. They are characteristics only in a few cases to allow identification of the firearms. Next, we are going to see the different methods to identify the firearm used in the commission of an offense. Walker test. Walker test means it is a method used for the detection of nitrates in the partially burned and unburned propellants. In this technique, a photographic paper is desensitized in hypofixer. After that, the paper is immersed in a solution of 5% to naphthalene and for H naphthalene H disulfonic acid. Then it is air dried. A cloth welted with 20% acetic acid is placed under the clothing under test. The photographic paper is placed on the top, covered with a piece of dry cloth, and the pressure is applied with a hot iron set at warm for 5 minutes. Any bright red spot which appears indicates the presence of nitrate compounds. This test is basically used for identify the nitrate compounds. Another one is paraffin test. Paraffin test is also known as a thermal nitrate test. It's a forensic procedure used to detect the presence of gunpowder. The gunpowder residue on the patient's hand that can be identified through this paraffin test. This is usually performed on the suspects of gun-related crimes to establish whether they have recently fired a gun. So basically, this test is used to understand whether there is a presence of a gunpowder or not. Another method is the examination of wounds. Wounds are two types: entrance wound and exit wounds. Entrance wound, it can be identified by its inverted margins. The inversion of the edges at the entrance is caused by the projectile which draws the skin inside. The shape of the entrance may be round or oval. The date collar and contusion ring are often noticed on the entrance side of the wound. It is due to the deposition of graphite, grease, and dirt present on the bullet. Another wound is exit wound. The exit wound is found out by the absence of above stated marks in the entrance wound, such as inverted margin. The size of exit wound is ordinarily larger than the entrance wound. It is because the deformation of the projectile and the tissues it gathers around it. So these are the three methods to identify the firearms and the presence of firearms in the commission of a crime, and whether the firearms belongs to a particular person who are suspecting to commit the crime. So these are about ballistics in forensic science.